Hi, and welcome to Philly Hot Radio. My name is Showtime the Hike Man. We're about to go broadcast live around the world on YouTube channel. It's important for those who are about to tune in to watch us around the world that we bring a positive energy level on Philly Hot Radio. Whistle while you're at work. Ladies and gentlemen, you know I got the baddest co-host. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Rock.
Hey, this is your co-host, Dr. Rock. I'm glad to be here this morning. I'm glad I woke up to give honor to God first, that I woke up this morning. We have great guests that's here today. And also, it's a special day today. It's my mother's birthday.
Go ahead.
My mother is such a kind, God-fearing woman. I love her dearly. So I just want to definitely put her out there because she has been very inspirational to me. Without her, giving me the background that I have, it would not be possible. So I thank her for that. And I want to thank all of the guests that came today, and thank y'all very, very much that came today, and we'll introduce you later.
Okay, what we want to, before we get started, I want to say something to my audience and those who are about to tune in to watch us. And it's important that what we do, that we be attractive to the world. And those who know us, we truly believe and love all people. We want to make that clear that we love all people. But it's important that those who are watching us, that we are trying to do something that never been done before on an internet YouTube channel radio. What we are doing, me and Dr. Rock, we're trying to bring positive energy. But what happened that most of our audience never mastered the skills of positive energy because we were never taught as raising up as children. And I believe that half of my audience watching us today was only raised by the basis: go to school, get a job, go to school and get a job. But we was never taught that we, as each and every one of y'all, have a gift. And the gift has overshadowed our creative. So,
Yes.
before we get started, Dr. Rock would love to do, we have some, so Dr. Rock, we have some announcements. So talk about the announcement when we get the show started.
Okay, I would like to, today, we have ambitious poet Harper. He is having a book signing at 2930 Jasper Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19134. It's from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then we're going to be there. I'm going to be there, and Showtime's going to be there for Philly Hot Radio.
I'm going to be there. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. See,
And
going to be
also-
there. I didn't know that.
We have Nicole Byrne-Hayes, a beautiful person. It's called the Independent Woman Empowerment Presents tomorrow morning, September 22nd. It's in the Darby Borough Recreation Center, 1022 Ridge Avenue in Darby. She supports all women. So come on out. It's only $5 a ticket. So come on out. It's at 2. It starts at 2 o'clock to 5. So I hope to see you there. And also, for October the 26th, we have a Showcase Unlimited Entertainment presents Let the Feeling Flow. It's an R&B comedy show and fish fry. Saturday the 26th, 2019, 8 p.m. to 2 o'clock a.m. at Mill Creek Tavern. Doors are open at 7 p.m. Starring Miss Ivy Soul Robinson and friends, and co-starring Cozy Mo Better and Assumption Band. And many other tickets, $27 for the tickets. Showcase Unlimited at gmail.com, hosted by Dr. Rock, and Showtime is going to be hosted by us. And also, if you call in, you can be, the second caller can get a free ticket to the showcase. And also, I want to mention Mr. Dave Wilkes. He is also having a talented, anybody have talent, call Mr. Dave, because he's having on the 26th of September, he's having all talents come in and show all their talent. So you can reach out to Dave Wilkes.
Wow. I have two announcements, Dr. Rock. On October the 31st, I'm going to be doing a haunted house event. This is an event for talent and gifted people. So this is going to be the Haunted in the Woods Halloween house party. That's on 10/30/2019 at 90 Salem County Club in New Jersey. Tickets are $35. Open bar, food, and refreshment. Also, Showtime the Hype Man will be hosting that event. Also in Atlantic City, celebrating 10 years of laughter and fun at the Broadwalk Hall, Atlantic City, for the comedy show. This is the 10th year of the comedy show. Outstanding comedy, and it's important that we support our Afro-American comedians, and it's important that we understanding what they're doing to open up new doors. So tickets are available for the 10th anniversary, 10-year celebration of laughter and fun. So we're about to get the show started. So Dr. Rock is going to introduce, and those who like to call on this radio show, it's 484-477-6348. Repeat.
484-477-6348.
Okay.
So call on up, even also if you want a free ticket.
Okay, the show.
So I'm going to introduce our first guest. His name is Michael Benty.
Yeah, get out the way. Let's do.
Good morning, viewers. My name is Michael Benty, and I'm a candidate for Local 234 President. So I'm currently employed with SEPTA. I started my career as a bus driver out of Southern Depot, and now I'm currently a Orange Line cashier. It didn't take me that long to see the nonsense that goes on within the company. It's just the constant stress, the hassle, and most importantly, when you go to the union for help, they give you excuses. So pretty much I assembled a team, I organized a team, I worked really, really hard and got a team of people, like-minded people like myself, and just got tired of hearing the excuses, tired of having no direction from our union. And we pretty much got together and we formed a team. Now I got some experienced people, I had some youth, I got mechanics, I got bus operators, I got train operators, but one thing that we all share is we all are fighters and we're willing to challenge the status quo. And that's important, especially in this day and time. Everything is changing, think about it. The political forces is changing, they're trying to undermine middle class. Management is changing and their ruthless tactics. Technology is changing. At some point, the union leadership has to adapt or get left behind. Again, I'm running with a team of experienced and youth, and the experienced people is behind the scene working really, really hard, and they don't mind me taking the credit. So again, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and I look forward to going in detail of my platform.
Oh, okay. I'd like to say something. Before we get started into the detail in the grinding part of Michael Benty and as him running for the local 234 union, we want to realize that we did invite all the candidates to be here. Philly Hot Radio whistle while you work. We did invited all the candidates, but that was their opportunity if they wanted to come. So we want to make sure to show respect to the local 234 and also show respect to our leaders and those who are running. So it's important that we respect each and every man that is running. So what I want to ask Mr. Michael Benty, what makes you different from the old way of doing things for local 234? And I've been hearing rumors, even though that I cannot vote, I'm just a radio personnel that's trying to help out any way that we can. Would you feel that you are different to lure the older people that maybe been in this union for years? And you talked about experience. Won't you explain a little bit to our audience what you mean by an experience? of people that have been riding the bus for 20 years or 30 years and they think they need experience all the time. But I truly believe that God has blessed you, young man, to do something never been done before in the history in this union. You have an opportunity right now to talk about an experience and what gives you separation with your guys that you're running against.
Absolutely. I believe what sets me apart is my work ethic. You know, I work really, really hard in everything I do. I always dedicate myself. Anytime I have a task at hand, I work really hard. And I don't mind reaching out to others with more years on the job for help. You see, another thing that set me apart is I'm a natural organizer. I'm currently, and that's important, especially in this day and age. You know, our union is so divided right now. We need someone to come in there and actually unite the members. And I think I have the qualifications for that. I'm currently an Upper Darby committeeman, and I was former vice president of my daughter homeschool association, in which I instituted a Black History Month essay contest. So not only was the kids at the school that that won grand prize, it was one grand prize winner in each grade, but every single kid that participated, it was over 100 kids that participated. I mean, can you imagine and trying to get 100 kids to participate, and then going out, you know, to actually get, you know, sponsors. You know, so I did that work.
Don't worry about that.
So that's exactly what we need right now, Local 234. We need an organizer, someone that's going to take the community serious, someone that's going to partner with the community and say, listen, at the end of the day, your fight is our fight, because we're all in this together. We're all taxpayers. We all take the system here, and we all live together. So that's what we need right now. We need someone that's an organizer at heart, and that's what I think set me apart. The work ethic, you know, and my organizing ability.
Well, I'd like to ask you another question, then I'm going to let Dr. Rock ask you a question too. How do you deal with contracts? And if you saw that a lot of the older people talk about, I don't need nobody, don't know the contract and where mostly the local 234 union members never had a clue about the contract and the history so far, because they never got involved to educate themselves how can you make sure the members that's going to vote for you in the upper level on September the 27th, how can you convince them that they are safe when it comes to contract, and when half of them only have a clue about the book, half of them haven't even been in part of it? What can you do to give the safety of the older memberships and the young memberships that you make sure you're going to have their back during contract time, when it's time to negotiate and do something different and fight and stand up against them?
Well, I believe a key to, you know, getting a good deal is actually being prepared. You know, you don't just come, you know, 2 or 3 or even 6 months, you know, from the contract deadline and say, hey, this is what I want, give us what we want. No, you actually have to prepare. It takes, well, we're going to have 2 years actually to prepare for a contract, which is good enough time to prepare for the contract. So we're going to go in there, we're going to set up a negotiation committee. We have to hire a law firm to help us, you know, especially with transition. And also, even if we have to keep some of the old timers, some of the people that's in the union, at the end of the day, we're not their enemies. You know, we're willing to bring people to help us, you know, to transfer our knowledge. We're willing to work with these guys. At the end of the day, we're all local 234 brothers and sisters. So I don't mind working with other candidates that's currently running. I don't mind running with the current regime. Anybody on Willie Brown ticket, I don't mind that. At the end of the day, the goal is to get a good contract. So let's get a good contract. And the past 2 contracts, we've been getting jerked. We lost lifetime medical. The last contract, we went from 50 to 40 months. And retiree medical. Increase in medical contribution, we went from 1 to 2.5%. Increase in co-pays, no camera language. You know, it's 3 things that the president negotiates. And that's wages, benefits, and work rules. So, I mean, you know, when you talk about experience, you know, yes, these guys, they got a lot of years on the job, But in all honesty, they failed us in all three. So I think it's time to try something different. Progress is impossible without change. I think, it's time. It's time for the change now.
Well, brother, I just want to say to you, claim it, okay?
Absolutely.
Because I believe that you will win that, because, all the things that you just talked about and everything that you're doing is wonderful.
Thank you.
So you just keep on doing what you do, and I believe that one day, I will say, oh, Mike Bennett was on this show,
Yes.
and he did win. So just tell me, how long have you been working with?
I've been with the authority
Yeah.
7.5 years.
Have you? Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. But see, I don't care what years you have or whatever, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Because a person with 20-some years might not know what you know.
Absolutely.
So that's a wonderful thing. And I just wanted to tell you, keep on keeping on.
Thank you so much.
I want to say piggyback on something, what you said, Mr. Michael Bidney. You talked about the three things that the president has offered the union for years. You got to understand that because I'm biased, I want the audience to know that's watching me. I'm not on mic. I can't. I'm just a radio personnel. This is my opinion. I want to make sure for the voters not to take it personally what I'm about to say. So I'm just a guy because I did invite everybody. They had a chance to come here on Philly Hot Radio just like Michael Bidney did. And also we have another special guest on his team. Those who know y'all waiting for Joe too. I can see the phones are waiting. It's like blowing off the roof. But you said some things to me. Those who don't know that I am also, can I say that if they don't mind, I'm a former employee at SEPTA with 15 years. My count number is 11096. I was a bus operator, a cashier. I won the first time in the history as a section officer. I was only at the job for 6 months, and I won to be a section officer in the Porter Department. I was only there for 6 months. Also, that what I did when I went to college operator, I came in college for the first month. It was election. I ran for the presidency to be the chairperson of college as a bus operator. They never saw a guy like me before. But what I want to tell y'all that Michael Bidney said something to me, and it really bothered me in my spirit when he said that where the president said all they worried about is wages, the contract, and what else they looking for? Workless. So what he talked about, Michael Bidney, that I'm really understanding him more, he talking about the long term of staying at the job. He's not worried. It's not about the raise. It's not about the health coverage. It's about the rules and the policy of keeping the men and women to be working, not working over their shoulders. And what happened was, I'm seeing some things that I never saw before in the history of this great company that I used to work for. So Michael Bidney, how could you go into changing the way that SEPTA manager been comfortable, the way that Willie Brown and Brian Powell has demonstrating the way of doing contract, because most of them worrying about $30 an hour. I think that Michael Bidney picked something up by the union, how some unions making $50 and $60 an hour, and how the bus operator are far behind in the wages. But if you give them a wage that they think they're comfortable, they'll talk about it all year long, what they make hourly, but it's chicken fest money that they're really making. How could you tell the members it's all about keeping the job now? The wage it ain't about the money, it ain't about the health, it's about keeping the jobs. How can you guarantee them of the safety of the jobs and breaking some of these rules that a lot of people been getting fired? What are you going to do different to stand up and fight SEPTA management?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking me. Labor relations is a problem.
Ooh.
We go.
You hitting them like that?
That's supposed to be a neutral party. And it's not. They pretty much rubber stamp whatever the lower manager have already decided on, and that's what we need to do. We need to have our focus on labor relations and somehow, some way, trying to get them out the mix. to have an independent a body, because in all honesty, that's the way it's supposed to be. When you're going through the different steps, you go to labor relations. That's the last step. Before arbitration, bottom line is we want to make sure the labor relations is more fair. Another thing we need to do is we need to have section officer training,
Mm.
right? We need to retrain them with the latest laws. This laws is changing every day. So we want to make sure they're equipped with the knowledge and the tools and the resources they need to perform their job, because they're the bread and butter of this union. They are the backbone, the section officers. So we want to make sure the section officers and the business agents, the guys that's on the floor fighting SEPTA, have the tools and resources and the education they need to fight SEPTA. Another thing, it's not just about representing the members, right? As a section officer, it's about organizing your depot. It's about inspiring. It's about educating.
Come on.
Right? Because right now, like the union is so divided, people are so disenfranchised. We have to turn things around. We have to pump some energy into this union, because if not, it's just going to be a vacuum. You know what I mean? It's people just going in there just for, to pad their pockets for retirement, and it shouldn't be like that. We should have these people that's coming in that want to be future leaders, that actually want to make a positive impact. Not just for the current generation, but a future generation.
So what I want to do, I want to introduce Joe.
Joe Bryan is his name, from Local 234. He's a member, Local 234.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Bryant.
Just a brief bio of who I am. Grew up in South Philly. I have 18 years with the authority. 6 of those years served as a union rep, section officer. Small part about me, the role I play. I've adopted the role of being an advocate for change,
Mm.
equality in the workplace, fair representation. I was raised in a union family, and I was raised around some fair people that installed some very good values in me. A lot of y'all might know, part of my bio is I had a dark night. I made some bad decisions, which actually landed me with a felony, and I lost my employment. God has blessed me to be able to get my employment back, and I grasped that, and I know it was a purpose for him to restore me, and I believe the purpose for him to restore me was to help fight for equality. I spent a lot of days sitting back, getting into my head and getting myself together and getting my emotions intact, and I believe they're the tools that he was giving me to get back out here and fight for this equality. So I've teamed with Michael Benty. Me and him both, we drove out of Southern, and some things we didn't agree on, but it seems like we could agree on one thing, that we had a common goal. The common goal was the people, was this membership. So I'm pulling my resources behind Michael Benty. Like I said, I got great experience. I'm pretty sure you guys see my videos. I come with fact. I'm a researcher. I dig. And I'm here for the fight.
Okay, I would ask you a question, Mr. Joe Bryant. I know that you are a guy that makes decisions based on your spirit, Mr. Joe Bryant.
Definitely.
I have chosen got to know you over the y'all encouraged me to do what I'm doing. I want to thank you also, Mr. Joe Bryant, being a friend to me and inspiring me, and we inspire each other. Joe Bryant, what make you, because a man that you are, intelligent, and I know that you truly try to live by the principle that allow you to rest for 2 years to gain strength and health to go in another direction. What made you wanted to be a part of the Mike Bettany team? Because I know that you are a guy, if you believe in something, you go hard. And I saw that those who are watching us live on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, And those who are watchers on YouTube Live, I want to ask you a question, Mr. Joe Bryan. What make you feel that Mr. Mike Bittney has the right formula for you to partner up with him and teammate with him on this union that has been divided? And we are accepting bologna, they are accepting bologna and cheese when they can have steak and baked potato along with Joe Bryan and Michael Bittney. So tell our audience why you pick Mr. Mike Bittney, and also talk about you.
That's a good question. I watched Mike from day one when he came into the depot. I was the type of guy, and I followed suit what the old heads did with me. They pulled me to the side, they introduced me to the depot. They got me acclimated with the rule book. So I followed suit, and I came to Mike as well as all the new guys that come in. A guy told me a story. He said you can have anything you want on this job. He said, but if you don't learn that book, you're not going to stay on this job. So I passed it on, and he was very receptive to it.
Oh, he was, huh? So, oh, he listened, huh?
Like we all do, and we have to accept individuality. He had his way of doing things, but the one thing, which was the one goal, was for me to get that book in his hand, like I do with every new member that comes through those doors. And he grasps the book. He's come a long way.
Yeah, that's good. He said, "Thank you."
But I'm impressed with you. Definitely.
Wow.
Impressed. You know what? I'm gonna tell you, because the youngsters out here who's looking and listening to you now, from you, what you just told us, for the felony that you had and everything.
Pull myself back up.
Hey,
You don't
look,
quit.
and you're inspiring, to others that way, because you don't have to. It's always a second chance for people. You don't always have to say, well, what I did was, I did something, my life wasn't good. But just remember the good in your life, all the good, because what you're doing now is great. It's not just good, it's great. You've been an advocate and everything, so I really appreciate, you talking about that, because, you have a lot of people out here just giving up. They saying that, my life, my background is not good, so they just give up. But you didn't, you see, and you kept going on, and I like all the ones, whoever's listening, I love them to listen to you, because you are an advocate.
Well, let me ask you a question, Dr. Rock. Since you gave Joe Bryan all these great, it boosts his ego up even more. I don't know what he might be going he might be going back to the gym when he leave here. You boost him up. So, Dr. Rock, let me ask you a question. You have done 30 years at the Philadelphia School District of Philadelphia as you being a teacher and educating our kids for 30 years. What type of union that you belong to, what was the difference between your union and the schools of Philadelphia? Can you just give us a little bit what you went through, or some things that maybe give us a story that we can piggyback Mike Bittney and Joe Bryan can piggyback on with your question?
Well, with our union, I guess, everything was great with it. I mean, as far as, the health, we was, I think it was excellent health benefits. So, I guess the things of being, different situations, same thing, what y'all go through. You want everything to be fair, equal, everything to be fair when it comes to teachers. Not just teachers, you have other ones, not just principals in another union, but then you have the teachers, and you have assistants and everybody. So it's equal. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, to me, when I'm still a part of the union. Even though I retired, I'm still a part of it, because,
Can I ask you a question, Dr. Rock, if y'all don't mind? I want everybody to know that I am biased and I love all people, and I don't want nobody to say that because I'm an Afro-American brother. I don't want to get consumed to my audience, those who are watching the Spanish and Asian. What I have heard, I did a document, and I want to let y'all know I learned that from Joe Bryan and Mike Jones. When you're going to say something, make sure you have facts. Right. I want to make that clear to Michael Bittney and Joe Bryan. I'm going to ask you this one question, Mr. Doc Rock. When you started at the first school district, you saw a change in some things in contract because company has found out over the history, the more blacks you hired, the more cutbacks. In the Afro-American community, they are based on just getting a talk about the raise, they got a job, and it's a good job. And company knew that the more you hire Afro-Americans, you can destroy the unions and what unions really stand for safety. And we thought that any man and woman have a union job are safe. I believe that what you have saw maybe, and we're going to get back to Michael Bickney and Joe because they have some outstanding questions. Also, we have a phone call. They can call. What's the number, Dr. Rock?
484-477-6348.
Can you say that again?
484-477-6348.
So, when you saw more Afro-American teachers, did you see more cutback to find money for the budget? Over your first year when you started and then your 25 years, did you see more people leaving because of things were getting cut back? I'm just asking a question.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
You see, but like I told you, far as our union, when I'm still part of the union, I'm never, teaching never ends.
Okay.
So actually, you say I retired, but I did retire. But my thing is, I went back to
Okay.
help out our kids because our kids need us.
Okay.
So that's why I decided to go back and teach again. So, but like I said, the union, our union was great.
Okay.
I really don't have much, negative to say about my
Okay,
union.
good. That's good.
Because it was excellent. I mean,
Okay.
they do good things for the
Okay,
teachers.
good. That's what I wanted to know. She answered my question. How she
Yeah.
did that, that's
Yeah.
professionally what she answered. She didn't throw him under the
No,
bus.
no.
But what we have found out with Local 234, these leaders will throw their membership and they take the same game war spirit into their organization and their team. And we have saw people don't have a spirit for all people. And it's about my way or the highway. They don't care and they have a jealous spirit. Mr. Michael Bittney,
Yes.
what can you do that can change the old way? And I know that you heard a lot of story with experience, you heard a lot of nonsense that you went through, but Michael Bittney have learned how to fight through that. This is the last week of this campaign. This is your opportunity to get voters. They are undecided.
Right.
I want you to sway these undecided people to understand that you are the right choice in 2019, September the 27th, this Friday that's coming up. What are you going to say to get the members that you've been going back and forth that you are the candidate to take this union into 2020? This is your part to show the members that are watching us right now, Local 234 members are watching us.
Well, me being a younger member, I got the most to lose or gain from the decisions that's being decided on down at Union Hall. So I have a lot at stake here. I have a daughter, 10-year-old beautiful girl,
Wow, like that.
and little family that I want to make sure that this job is intact. I want to make sure that as time goes on, we get raises to keep up with the cost of living. We get the best benefits, considering our work environments. So basically, being as though I got a lot to lose or gain, and as another thing is an accountability factor. If you guys don't like what I do my first term in office, feel free to vote me out. And I knock on wood, I gotta be at my job, my original position, for 20 plus years. These guys down in Union Hall, they can't say that. They already got 30, 31, 32 years. They're on their way out. So I think it's time for a new direction. And another thing I want to do, we have various committees. We have the pension committee. We have the education committee. We have the women's committee, right? At the very least, we can reactivate or make these committees productive for the everyday member to help out in various ways. Because morale is actually something that the union is responsible for.
That is correct.
So they can increase the morale at the very least. You know, so what we want to do, we want to fight. And SEPTA is probably going to, you know, give us the no answer, and that's fine. We're ready. We're ready for that. We're going to have a team of negotiators, right, behind the scene, working things out. And at the end of the day, we got to follow the money. And the money's there. SEPTA just passed the budget, $2 billion. That's a lot of money, right? So it's up to the union, right, to fight for, you know, a piece of that pie. You know, but time after time, contract after contract, we keep on losing. I'm concerned.
I'm concerned about this because this is the pet of mine. For those who are watching us, Mr. Mike Bendis said something, $2 billion. Half of y'all are not even aware what he just said, $2 billion. And what happened was, I remember at the Still Union Hall, and I'm going back 12 or 13, I asked the president a question. And I asked him that, why we don't have lawyers when most of the union members and brothers and sisters lost their job? Would you forget the brothers and sisters that was paid union dues, they lost their job 24 years, 26 years, 15 years, 10 years, 11 years? I want to ask you a question, Mr. Michael Bitney. Well, because half of 97% and 57% of the working force of Afro-American men and women, I want to make that clear. We love all our union brothers. I want to make that clear. We love all of white, Spanish, Latino. I want to make that clear. I don't want nobody to say that we are, no. Michael Bitney for everybody.
Absolutely.
I want to make that clear. It's appropriate that I say that because I want to be respected to all colors of skin.
Right.
What are you going to do? Are you going to turn your back on the men's and women's? Or maybe will come out and show your unity, even though those they can't vote for you, but you also that 97% or a lot of men and women can also help you out in your campaign this Friday.
Absolutely.
We want to know, what would you do to look into investigation against SEPTA and Willie Brown, what they did for union members that paid their dues, because those who are working there now want to be safe. They don't feel safe anymore. How could you get the safe? And I want you to say something. I want Joe Bryant to piggyback on you, and then we're going to get ready to close on this union stuff.
Well, when you know, it's funny because not too long ago I had a supervisor say, you know, she knew I was running for president.
Yeah, they all know.
And she said, she
hey,
said,
Joe, put it out there.
so now me and you got a clash. I said, listen, the fight is not against lower level managers.
Come on.
Right? It's not against dispatchers.
That's what they train them.
It's not against you know, supervisors, transportation managers. The fight is against the board of directors. The fight is against the AGM and the general manager.
Yes.
The people that make the policies, the political, and Harrisburg.
Come on.
Right? They got, it's Republican control.
Ooh.
It is Republican control.
Oh
so
my God.
that's where our fight
Yeah.
should be. And their goal is to undermine the middle class. So that's why I say, remember what I said earlier, we have to try to unify this membership, right? To show everyone that there's an attack being made. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Spanish. The attack is against the middle class. They systematically trying to divide us, to break us apart. So we need to fight. We need to have a political fight. We have a COPE fund. For people that don't know, COPE is the Committee of Political Education, and is a voluntary deduction to come out of your paycheck, and that money is basically goes to a fund to support political candidates, right, and get troops on the ground, you know, when they need it around election time. So that's what we need to do. We need to start getting smart about our COPE money. Most people don't even know who their COPE director is. We got a COPE director right now is making $87,000 a year.
My
Nobody heard from him. No one heard from him.
Taking the money.
So, at the very least, we got to use the resources we have in place. You see what I'm saying? To help the members. And I'm telling you right now, I'm a committeeman in Upper Darby. I ran for Upper Darby Council a few years ago. I went up against the Republican machine. Trust and believe me. You put me as president, you vote for me as president, I will fight tooth and nail to make things right for the members.
I love it.
Yes.
Joe Bryan, we like you to
Yes.
piggyback and give why we should vote for Michael Bidney and why that you are so ruthless and more mature right now than you ever been and so humble right now, Mr. Joe Bryan. Won't you give them a little bit of you and why what you stand for and why you fight like you fight, but in a positive way?
Well, I was taught in Big Mama's house. She creates the chemicals.
He said Big
She
Mama.
creates the tone.
Okay.
So it all starts at the head of the house.
Yes.
What the head of the house does, everybody else follows. He's gained he's definitely gained my support, my confidence. Again, I watched this guy, and I'm talking about when I wasn't even in the picture. I'm sitting off to the side, following, researching, bringing facts. I'm big on facts. I was always taught, don't open your mouth unless you have facts.
That's correct.
That's right.
Integrity
That's right.
and your word is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Never open my mouth unless I have facts to support it.
Okay.
You got that common, that's common. And again, like I said, he has our utmost support. I wasn't able to run for office in the beginning when the nominations came out. I'm not going to bash the union because I'm still union. We just don't see eye to eye with myself and the leadership. But I couldn't run for office because I was a member in bad standards from my dark night. So it was too late for me to qualify myself. So once I realized that I was qualified to run for office, I knew I had to throw my tools in somewhere. And throwing my tools and my research and my support behind Michael Benty.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Joe, this your last time. This is something you can say. We know that election is on September 27th, this Friday. What can you tell the members that it's important that those who in the sick book, those who on vacation, won't you give a little pep talk real quick to tell how important this election is for change? And so you too, Joe Bryan, all the people that are watching you and all your followers, that you can also change their mindset going into this election, Joe Bryan. This is your time to give Mike Bidney one of your inspiration pep talk to the local 234 has been watching you over the years and everything that you've been through, because they are watching you. And we know that everybody's watching us. Even our candidates are watching us live around the world. Even other great unions are watching us and watching a Mike Bidney that's rising through the rank of nobody. And I truly believe that God is going to place his hands on the membership of this great local. And I believe that Michael Bidney is the right choice. So won't you real quick, then we're going to close this topic.
This is an important election. This election here is going to be pivotal. This is a make it or break it election. There's 5,700 of us. Historically, only 3,000 of us get out to vote. I believe that's because people don't know and they're not educated as to how important it is to vote. We need all 5,700 people to come out to vote. We have 4 tickets. We cannot have a monopoly for one ticket that has a guaranteed 1,000 to 1,500 members because they're striving off the fact that only 3,000 of us get out to vote. Still the election.
Wow.
We got to be here. I got 18 years and I'm only 50.
Damn.
Hopefully I can be 70 retiring from this job.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
It's not about the money for me.
Come
It's about
ooh.
what I can bring and what I can give.
Right, right.
So if I'm 70 and I'm still around the company, I'm gonna be that old guy tapping on your shoulder, say, yo,
Yes.
no more. Pick that book up.
Wow, I like to.
Yes, I
That
hope
means more to me than
yes.
anything.
hope everyone's listening.
Mhm.
You know, hope everyone's listening out there because, you know, if you work for SEPTA or if you are a member of SEPTA, get out and vote. Just get out there and vote.
Okay. Michael didn't have something to say.
The election, just a reminder,
Mhm.
election is September 27th, this Friday. So more information if you want to know about where you can vote at on a Facebook page.
Mhm.
We got a Facebook page. We're probably the only slate that has a Facebook page. We're very transparent. We put our bios on there. We put a lot of information, a lot of videos. I didn't just wake up out of bed and say, "Hey, vote for me for president." We've been going at this for a while, for some time now. So just 234 Action Slate is the Facebook page, and also look for 234 Action Team on the ballot box, and then select us. Michael Benty. I'm running with Harold Harley, Executive Vice President, and select the whole team.
Well, we want to
Wow.
quit, Joe. You want to sit there? We're
If I
gonna
could add
close.
one more thing, on September 26th, as a lot of you guys know, it's 97 of us, and we're co-handed with the NAACP, and we're fighting for some of our brothers and sisters that have been wrongfully terminated. We'll be meeting at 1234 Market for a protest to try to fight for our brothers and sisters to get some
That's
kind
big.
of equality.
Mm.
10:30 is the rallying time. 10:30 to 12. There's a board meeting that same day. So we want to make as much noise. If you've been wrongfully terminated, if you've been discriminated against sexually, religiously, etc., you want to have your voice heard. Show up for the rally.
Wow.
Wow.
Well,
Wonderful.
I want to thank both of y'all for coming out, and I want to
Yeah.
thank Mr. Michael Bidney. I want to wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Our prayers and
Yes.
with you, Mr. Michael Bidney, me and Dr. Rock and Philly Hot Radio Whistle while you're at work. We want to thank you also, Joe, for coming on the show. We want to thank Mr. Mike Bidney again.
No need for that.
Outstanding job. We
Yes.
wish y'all the best of luck
Yes.
on the election, and we hope we can bring you back and you can talk about how you feel after you won.
Yes.
And thank you so much. Okay, so we have
Yes.
another guest here. So we
Thank
want to
you.
bring our next guest up.
Thank you.
I'm gonna let Dr. Rock introduce our next guest. We're gonna get moving along. This is a guy was a pro fighter.
Yes.
He was he's a lightweight in the lightweight division. So I'm gonna let Dr. Rock introduce this guest. Outstanding brother. He's still.
I'm gonna introduce him.
Go ahead, Dr. Rock.
His name is Nate Miller. He's a former WBA cruiser, WT champion.
And
Okay, he's a champion.
so
So he's going to tell us more about it.
okay, so this is your opportunity, and thank you for coming on Philly Hot Radio Whistle while you're at work. So, Mr. Nate, what keeps you inspired? And I see it a lot of places. And what is after your career and you went into the boxing game and you have accomplished some things that you took your gift and your boxing ability on the back. What make you still feel, because of your name and what you have accomplished, what are you doing so far right now? A little bit, people get to know you. Got an opportunity to show the world on Philly Hot Radio on YouTube channel, and I'm grateful that Dr. Rock brought you on as a guest. This is your time that you can reflect on where you at right now and what you're trying to accomplish right now in your life.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me. Nate Mr. Miller, former WBA Cruiserweight Champ of the world. Did it for about 18 years.
Wow.
I'm a native of Philly, known by almost all of Philadelphia. They have a mural of me up at the Happy Hollow Playground in Germantown, where I used to train at. They're going to name the gym after me when they
Praise God.
repair it, and we're looking to get my bronze statue in there as well. Larry Holmes have one, Joe Frazier have one, and now Nate Mr. Miller is looking to have one. Hopefully by next year. End
Mr.
of next year.
Mr. Nate Miller, what do you feel as the city of Philadelphia, and boxing is definitely a way out for some of the young brothers, and we see there's a lot of murder and a lot of killings that are going in our community, and why is the gym and the fan base when it comes to Afro-American fighters that we don't respect the accomplishment and the hard work that Mr. Nate Miller put in over the years of 18 years as a professional fighter, and how you continue to still live off of that accomplishment. And comparing to me, when if you Mr. Nate was white that hold the WBO championship belt, your leadway in political arena and doing something and having a voice would be more respectable. Why it's so hard for Afro-American fighters that accomplish what you accomplished, and some of the legends that been in Philadelphia? What do you think as a Afro-American fighter and went through the trends in them days when black fighters was more remarkable? You came in a peak time when black fighters was remarkable at that time because we knocked some of the white fighters out, and black folks was more remarkable with promoters. Why the different now, different change?
Well, time brings about a change, and the culture change as life progresses. You know, I love going to the gym when I did go. I was the highest paid cruiserweight at that time. I like going out to inspire the youth. I take my belt with me just about to every fight or every function to inspire the youth and try to get them on track. And, I think a lot of people like me because I'm so humble.
You are.
If somebody said, that guy's a fighter there, most people wouldn't believe it because, very humble about having something that's just a title. That's all it is, just a title. I mean, I was happy to get it, but it's still just the title, and some things go to people's head once they, get on top of the highest mountain that they can get on, which I made it to the highest mountain. The highest athlete in the on the universe is being the world champion. So
He said world.
Yeah, world, that's right. Can I ask you a question? What made you want to be a boxer? What made you want to as a kid? Where you, sometimes, even with my son being old as he is, I used to, went to school. I used to say, why were you fighting in school? So then I said, you know what, you need to use that and go to a gym and start, and which he did. He tried to learn how to box. But because of you, I'm just asking you, because of you, as a child, what made you decide to take it further?
Well, I come from 2 foster cares. And when I got out of foster care, I used to live in North Philly, and I met a guy on the block that was boxing as well. So we decided to walk all the way up in Germantown from 30th and Lehigh, and that's probably about maybe a 4 mile.
That's three different gangs.
Right. Yeah.
I know that part.
Yeah, we walked from there up to Germantown, and it's crazy because we was walking by the gym, and I just happened to look in there, and I said, man, I see people when they're throwing punches, hitting the bag, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go in and introduce myself, and the rest they say is history, and that's how I got started in boxing. And come to find out later on, my trainer that I was with all the time until I retired in 2001, we come to find out that we are related through marriage. Crazy. Very crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I say, the rest is history, and that's how I got started. And when I got in, introduced myself, and started training and getting in shape, and when I got into some of the amateur boxing and sparring, I said, man, you know what, I kind of like this because I was a heavy hitter, heavy puncher. So I said, you know what, this might be something for me. Now, had it not come out with a cruiserweight, I might have not been a boxer, to be quite frank and honest about it. And they came up with that because of Holyfield. I was too big to come down, and I was scared to go up as a heavyweight.
What made you be scared come up as a heavyweight when you said you had power? What gave you that fear? But hey, guy said that hitting the bag every day, going to gym, and he said he was scared. What made you want not to climb? I believe that being by Holyfield, when they give Holyfield or bringing another division in the boxing for cruiserweight, so I'm grateful for that.
Right.
Do you think that by being a heavyweight, champion, being a heavyweight, would it gave you a bigger border than the cruiserweight? Because the cruiserweight was newer, but the heavyweight was long term. Do you believe that by you accomplishing the heavyweight championship of the world, what gave you a more static in the Hall of Fame and in the boxing, even though you are Hall of Fame in my eyes?
PA Hall of Fame.
Huh?
I am a PA Hall
He a
of Fame.
PA Hall of Fame. So what made you didn't want to jump to the heavyweight? And I think my audience would like to know, those who are watching, the brothers that are afraid to take the next weight class.
Well, I was skeptical, number one. I knew I could punch, but it was a thought in my brain. Would I really want to go up to a heavyweight? Even though at that time I may have been successful in accomplishing a lot, but I just didn't want to take that chance. I was smart.
He saw power, more power than heavyweight.
I mean, I could punch like a heavyweight,
Uh-huh.
but I said, no.
You just come from the cruiserweight, so you stayed in the cruiserweight.
Cruiserweight. I only fought 2 weights. I was rated number 5 in the country as an amateur. I weighed 190, and I was the smallest heavyweight being rated in the country as a number 5 man. But I was knocking out guys that was 200 plus. So
Let me ask, why have you ever trained in fire? Have you ever went into training? Have you ever think about being a co-manager or a coach for young guys that's heavyweight and cruiserweight? It's like NFL. They have wide receivers or older wide receivers that still train and make a living. I believe that with your gift, with your knowledge, with your talent, with your name, and you coming out in the ring with one of your fighters, with your quotation, with your experience, with another fighter, because you know I'm on boxing team too. Those who don't know, Showtime the Hype Man, been part of 2 champion team. Willie Gibbs, the Gladiator, gave me my first time. We went in the IBMF middleweight champion bout at the Fox Casino, and I want to thank Willie Gibbs, the Gladiator, giving me an opportunity. I also want to thank Aaron Ford. Aaron Ford has allowed me to be in his corner man for the last 15 years. Also, I just accomplished another belt with Frankie Nitty Trader for the lightweight USA. The guy that ran the organization passed away a week later after Frank Nitty won his belt. I just think that by you being more involved as being a promoter and doing some things, I believe that you have a calling in this sports. And I heard before he got in, he talked about his own radio show. Did he say that sports?
He said he wanted to do that.
Was I listening?
He said I should do my own, right? And I said, yeah, wonderful. That would be wonderful to do.
So what boxing with Dr.
Well,
Rock?
my thing, I'm going to put his name out there because he's always honoring all the boxers. And I think he's a wonderful person. Mr. Dave Wilkes, a friend of mine also. He's a friend of mine also. And he's always honoring all the boxers. And Nate definitely would be the one that he honors when, what month is usually is in November. I'm not sure what month, but I know every year he tries to honor all the boxers, and give them different gifts and stuff. So I'm always a part of that.
So Dr. Rock, what made you want to bring Mr. Nate on Philly Hot Radio, Whistle While You Work? What was in you that you feel that he was a good candidate for your Saturday morning show? What made you want him to come and speak to the audience and show his professional as he's doing right now?
Because I know that he's into the boxing, and I know that he, to me, it's a proud thing for him, and to see him, talk about it to the youngsters. I want him to, also talk to the youngsters all over the world. Let them know. Sometimes, if you're the type of person that always like to get out there and fight, which they call rumble, get out there and fight. My thing is you can actually make money doing it in positive ways. But and also as a boxer, you are not allowed to box on the street. So that would move away a lot. Like you're not allowed to have fights in the street. So that would move away a lot of negative stuff with kids who likes to fight. Some of them just like to do that, and some become bullies if they know they can fight. They like to be bullies. But my thing is, because Nate decided to be a boxer, he used his talent in another way. And that's why I wanted him on the show, to talk to all youngsters about whoever feels like they ever want to do this or make money being a boxer one day. It might become a champ like Nate is a champ.
Wow. Well, Nate, this is your opportunity. You are live on Philly Hot Radio, and this is your opportunity for those who are watching whistle why you at work. Mr. Nate, where do you want to go from here when you leave this radio show, and what is your goals and what you have wrote down as some of your goals and your inspiration as you're still living your life? I truly believe that you have something to offer Philadelphia, and I believe that Philadelphia has something to offer you back. I think it's time for Philadelphia to respect you and give you your dues that you deserve and your accomplishments and what you are still are alleging in some of the Philadelphia fighters and some of the organization that's in the city of Philadelphia. Philly Hot Radio, Whistle While You Work, we want to give you a torch of thank you from me and Dr. Rock.
Yes.
This is your opportunity, Mr. Nate, to tell the world that you're not finished, and what is some of the projects and some of the things that you got lined up for 2020?
Well, I'm looking to one day put people to work in the coming year. Stay positive, stay humble, stay out of trouble. If you believe you can achieve no success without struggle, stay positive, always hang around positive people, do the right thing. We're not perfect, but we can sure strive to be perfect and respect one another and, learn how to live next to each other and, help each other. And, that's what we need, help from one another. We're never too old to learn or never too young. So the youth need to get out there and get on track and stop hurting one another. Put the guns down. There's no need. You can box in the street. Just make sure you got your gloves on.
Dr. Oh, yeah. Oh, Lord. And she boxed. Oh, yeah. I see Earl in the corner right now.
Actually, that's some good exercise, That's a good exercise to box.
And I got my little box over here on the right-hand side. Yeah.
So y'all gotta get on track, man. All this killing is unnecessary. Even though the world changing for the better, we just gotta be a little bit more patient. I mean, I could get into more detail, but it would blow some people's mind to actually know what's happening. But the world is getting ready to be a better place, and you'll see all nationalities and all creeds coming together. Just remember, I told you so. The world is changing for the better. I know, believe me.
I like that what
Right.
he said.
I like
So this is our part of the show that this is, we're about to close, but what do you like to tell Philadelphia and those around the world that are watching Mr. Nate? And what do you like to also say that before you leave here, that if you want to train some young kids, or do you want to get into promoting, or you want to get into maybe being a part of the Olympian team, because some of these brothers are 6'4", 6'3", that run around with a gun, but we want to. I like to start a campaign called "Pick Up Gloves, Stutter Guns."
Right.
I would like you to be the spokesperson. What do you think about that,
Yeah,
Dr.
that
Rock?
sounds wonderful.
What do you think about that, Mr. Nate? Philly Hot Radio, we're gonna try to organize "Pick Up the Gloves, Not the Guns." I would love not to put Mr. Nate out there. I would love Mr. Nate to be the CEO and the sponsor, going around to all the schools and all the young rec centers, but also that we like to get funds because Mr. Nate have lights, gas bills, and things that he need in his life. Philadelphia, those who are watching us around the world, globally, we're trying to organize, put down the guns, put on the gloves. We want to bring boxing gloves instead of guns to our community and come out another way. I believe that God has touched my spirit and gave
Yes.
me and Dr. Rock, and along with Nate, on this Philly Hot Radio Whistle While You Will, let's put an organization together and spread around no guns, put up the gloves. My name is Showtime the Hype Man. We'd like to thank Mr. Nate. Also, we'd like Dr. Rock to do a closing, and we want to give a happy birthday to our mother again.
Yes.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mom,
Happy
if you're
birthday,
watching us.
Mom.
Happy
You
We-
know,
birthday.
happy
yes.
birthday
I
to
wanna
you.
say happy birthday to you, Mother.
Yes,
And
right.
I thank you, because you know what I always say to everyone, you have one mother, treat her good. Also, give her flowers while she's here. And also, Nate, I just want to thank you for coming out and being positive. You know, keep being positive to the community, to the youngsters. They definitely need you. They need you out there. Like you said, Showtime, put down the guns. Put on the gloves. Put on the gloves. You know, hey, put them on. Right?
Thanks for having me.
Well, you see, Dr. Rock got that jab. Did y'all see that jab? So we want to thank everybody that tune in next
Yes.
week. For those who we need all the support to make Philly Hot Radio Whistle While You Work Saturday morning show at 10 a.m. Our goal is to have 2 million people watch us worldwide, but we are starting at the bottom. I know a lot of people have not believed in me and what I've been doing. Some days I've been having a lot of low spirit because I try so hard to show Philadelphia, me too, that I got a gift. So I want to thank my co-host. I want to thank my wife. They said happy
Yes.
wife, happy life. I'd like to thank Earl for
Yes.
also our team that's here every week. They don't have to be here.
Yes.
Earl could be somewhere lifting, making some money, but he chose
Yes,
to
chose
be
to
with
be
us.
here.
So
Thank
we want to
you, Earl
thank
Cosby.
everybody. I want to thank my wife and those who are watching us around the world. Stay tuned for next week's show, Philly Hot Radio, Whistle While You Work.
Yes.
See y'all next week. Peace.